Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back to the last Easy Talk on Cannon Fodder. Yeah, the last one, man. Boy, have things changed over the last 6 years. I remember my first show, and it wasn't a good show. It was not a good show, and let's make sure that this one is a good show. Let's make sure we got over bang. But as usual, we've got the familiars. Familiars, hopefully +1 on the last Easy Talk on Cannon Fodder TV. But you know what, Vincey? There's some business about some kind of music intro. Hit it. There's a little tear in my eye, a little tear of joy. No, sadness, man, sadness. Yes, welcome back to the Easy Talk and Cannon Fodder TV, the last one. And I thought, let's try and do a bumper. No, we're going to do a bumper. There's not 4 Avengers, there's not 5 Avengers, there's 6 Avengers, but there's only 4 on the screen. But we're waiting for just, I know what's happened to the Voice of Reason. He does this every time. We're going live and he pops off. Anyway, for the hellos. Brother Prosper looking like he wants to do some damage somewhere.
Yeah,
Prosper.
yeah. I'm the Avenger with the bow and arrow, you know, the hawk. Yeah.
Nice one. Well, good to see you back, brother. And Martinelli's agent. He is.
I sourced him. I believe in him. I'll be there until he leaves Arsenal and collects his Ballon d'Or.
Whoa! Shots fired, man.
We're live. We're live.
And last but not least, the enforcer, Gazer. Welcome back, man.
Thank you for having me on. Glad to be on this show. You know, I love this. This is my house. This is our house. Sorry, our house.
Our house. Yeah, absolutely.
And Prosper is Hawkeye. I've got to be the Hulk, and I.
That's it, Hawkeye. Yes. That's it, Hawkeye. Well done. And yes. Just in time intros, the Voice of Reason. He's just changed his tag name there. Isaac, the Voice of Reason. Isaac, what's happening, brother?
I had a few network problems. I went to sort them because I don't want to miss anything on this last show. Probably bring on the heat, bring on the fire.
Whoa! Someone's been preparing, man. Well, at this time we're waiting for an additional guest. I believe they are running still late, but we're still going to run with this one, man. But you know, the first topic, the elephant is in the house, or maybe the elephant's been kicked out. Vincey, Arsenal did it. Arsenal secured second spot, man. Is there anything to celebrate, man?
They did it. Well, I mean, I think it's something for us to be proud. We've backed up back-to-back seasons where we've pushed them to the wire, or as close in the first one. Second time, we did ourselves justice. For me, it was like watching a game was a little bit flat because I thought for me the actual game was a reflection of our whole season. There was elements in the game where we just looked a little bit clueless, and you know, if that was the game where we needed to get over the line, there was very worrying moments in that game where we thought we weren't going to get over the line, but then we picked it up, and you know, second half we got the job done. So yeah, I think I've got to give the guys credit. You know, Everton came to play. At the end of the day, they came to play. So we had to be at the races. We had to do our part of it, and yeah, VAR helped us out as well. So you know, it sure does. So yeah, I mean, we can't complain too much. It would be nice to be lifting the trophy at the end of the day, but I think we need to lift it when we beat them home and away. You beat the champions home and away. You deserve to lift the Premiership. So maybe next year.
Maybe next year. And Prosper. Secured second spot, man.
Yeah. I don't like the second spot.
What's wrong with it, man? What's wrong?
What's wrong with it? It's because it's been 20 years of top four. That's what's wrong with it. It's not about Arteta, but it's about the club. You see, because we have to aim higher. We have to aim higher all the time. We have to aim higher. So if we're comfortable with second spot, then when is it going to end? We're still in that chronic loop. That's very hard to get off right now because we've been there for 20 years. So when everything comes down to the wire, well, we can congratulate the current team. They pushed it to the end. But at the end of the day, as a club, you have to ask the management, come on, guys, can't we do better than this? The owners, can't we do better than this? Can't we go further than this? Yeah, but for the lads, I think they pushed it. Considering our team depth, I think they did their job. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with second spot, man. Isaac, you're back. You're back. We secured second spot, Isaac, man.
On mute. Turn your microphone on, Isaac.
Oh, you know what? I think this. There we go. Oh. Isaac. Isaac, can you hear us? Because we can't hear you.
No, it seems his network is bad.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was on mute.
Oh, he's back. He's back. We can hear him. We can hear him. Yeah. Go on. We'll secure second spot.
Well, I want to believe Arteta did better than last season. Overall, he showed improvement, and despite a few mistakes here and there, but so there's some bit of improvement, and I was reading somewhere today that of the 59 teams in Europe that Arsenal is number one, has been ranked first as the most sustainable club, given the way it is structured, the wages, the way they have been structured, the transfers, that we are the most sustainable at the moment, the way it stands. I want to say that Arteta has done a good job, and is like every other club wants to go for a younger manager, given that even Bayern wants Vincent Kompany. And Chelsea also wants a younger manager. So probably they'll not go for Tuchel or Mourinho. They might go for the Brentford coach or maybe De Zerbi, because De Zerbi is leaving Brighton. So for Arteta, he's done better, and I'll give him credit because when he came in, probably the fan base was divided. We were not sure of what he'll bring, given that he's a maiden. He was a maiden in the coaching arena. He had only served as an assistant and not a first team manager. But if we look from the time he came in to date, there is quite a big step in progress, because he came in and we finished 8th. He came in mid-season, finished 8th, but he won an FA Cup, which I believe gave him probably gave him a life to hang on, because had it not been that FA Cup, probably would have called for his head. But the FA Cup saved him, and he remained. The next season, he finished 8th. We were disappointed. And then after there, he finished 5th, where he lost to Tottenham to finish 4th, but he finished 5th. And are kind of disappointed again. He went to the Europa League, did not do quite well, but finished 2nd. But this time round, he pushed his teacher right to the wire, to the last day. Last season, the league was won probably two or three games left. But this season, we had to wear our season kit because we could not be allowed to wear the kit for next season because we were in the mix to win it. If you had the chance of winning it, then you have to wear your season kit. You do not change your kit, and that's Soraj where the kit for this season we did not. That is unveiled the kit for the next season. But he's done well. I'll give him credit. He's done some work, but we also demand for improvement where there were mistakes that he improves because we've reached a point now where we want trophies. We want major honors.
I want to remind Isaac of something he said on the last Easy Talk, but before I do that, I've got to be very gentlemanly and welcome Seema back onto the channel. Seema, how are you? How you doing? You okay?
Legend.
Yeah, I'm good. I was like, oh my god, I see that.
Good to see you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on.
Good. So, Isaac, you said last week on the last Easy Talk that come next season, if there's no trophies, he should be out. He should have been sacked or he should walk. Do you still stand by that, Isaac?
Next season,
I'm like an elephant. I always remember certain things.
If he doesn't win that any trophy next season, I believe the huge or 3/4 of the fan base will be calling for his head because he's given us the hope he's built, the team he's competing now. So what only remains is a trophy. You remember we said some of us who've younger fans who've supported this club for the last 20 years and have not seen Arsenal lift a trophy, we have suffered the most. unlike the likes of Vinci, who've seen the Arsenal lift at Highbury and we're unbeaten. For us, we've only enjoyed lifting FA Cups, which were kind of I would say was tokenism.
Mm-hmm.
For us not to go empty-handed. That is where Wenger had his way of, he will not leave you empty-handed. He will put you top 4 and then give you the FA Cup, and then you are okay. We're okay with that. But we won the Premier League, and we also won the Champions League because my bad friends keep telling me
you need to change your friends. Change your friends.
Change your friends.
my bad friends keep telling me that we do not deserve a chair on the table. That when men are discussing issues, we do not deserve a chair on the table because we do not have the Champions League. That we are still boys. We are not men yet. And you see,
No, you need to let that go. You need to let that go. Genuinely.
I hope Shima comes back to Kenya so that we watch more games together because my friends are really killing me.
Shima, get over to Kenya. He needs a friend. He needs a friend.
Well, if he's going to talk like that, I'm not his friend, mate. I'm sorry. You're forgetting the most fundamental thing. Arsenal
Seema,
is
tell
not a club that changes its managers like that. They
But then
believe
maybe
in
it
their
should.
managers.
Maybe
They
it should,
believe in their
Seema.
ethos.
Then maybe that's the problem. Maybe we should start changing the managers on a
No,
regular
because
basis.
we're not Chelsea. We're not bleeding Man United. We're not, we are the Arsenal. We are the
But they-
leaders.
But they've won the Champions League, Seema. Those clubs you've just mentioned there, they've won the Champions League.
Yeah, well, so what? So what?
No,
I mean, we're going
no.
to get there. We've got such a young team, and they're gelling, they're bonding, they're learning. And what we saw from last season to this season, they're two different teams. So the next step is going to be that team to compete with the Champions League, to take on every single team in our Premier League. They're going to take that bus, park it in their front yard, not the backyard, front yard. And then they're going to do a 3-point turn and say, do you know what? We did it. Here you go.
Make it rain, Seema. Make it rain. What?
What?
Make
What
it
was that
rain.
then? Make it rain.
That's it. And do you know
I've got
what?
to say,
It
Alex.
didn't cost us. It didn't cost us this.
I've got to say, Alex, right?
Yeah.
You've got to listen to my sister Seema. She's talking power, Power. That's how we should be. That's how you have to think to progress. Yeah. Now, Isaac's bring up a very good point about what chart was that, Isaac, where we're number one, but it was out of about 800 clubs, wasn't it? And you said it was self-sufficient and sustainable, aren't we?
Sustainability.
And yet, you're absolutely right. And because what people don't realise is Man City came fourth in that chart and we came top. So that tells you something. And what I think Arteta's doing, and it's becoming quite prevalent, is he's making players. We are making players. Yeah, and it takes time to make a player. Yeah, and we will come back next season stronger. To go to your original question, Alex, second spot. Who celebrates second spot? No one celebrates second spot, do they? I mean, end of the day, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from the team because they've achieved progress. But I would say it's more for the fans. You could call it failure, yeah, you definitely could. But it's more disappointment. We're all disappointed more than thinking about, oh, it's a failure. If you were to go out there and ask 100 Arsenal fans, failure or disappointment, I would say more of them would say disappointment. I really do.
No, because we did a poll on the channel over the last 2 days. Has the season been a success or failure? And let's have a look. 79% say the season has been a success. And
Really?
Seema, sorry, I don't buy it, Seema. I don't buy it. Listen, I've been supporting Arsenal since the 70s, and I've seen some real bad times and some real highs of highs. And I'm just a regular fan, Seema. I just want my club to win major honours. Right? I don't want to talk about Unai Emery. Less than 2 seasons, he was out the door. And Mikel Arteta back to the tune of £700 million and hasn't won a major trophy. So, like I said to you before, Seema, where do we draw the line on this project? Come next season, there is a possibility that we might even improve, but Man City will still be in the way. Do we give Arteta another season, Seema?
Yeah, of course we do. You're trusting the process. You're building a unit. You know, a house is built with the same bricks, right? And you finish it off. Same as a team. You build that team. And then you get the result. So now he's built it. And he'll probably say it himself. He's now, the 4th tier of his 5-tier process?
Yeah, we
So
spoke
we're
about
going
it last
into
week.
that 5th tier.
We spoke about it last week. Yeah.
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 So, it's there. It's getting there. And you can see it on those boys' faces at the final whistle. They didn't celebrate a win. They were actually devastated. Yeah. So they only know too well that they fought all the way. Those few games, we knew it. The minute that Villa game finished at home, we said it. We handed City the title. City didn't win it. We handed them the title. We were poor that day. we should have done better. We can go back and say the West Ham game. We can go back and say that, that funny old Newcastle game.
Newcastle game.
Yeah. So we short fell at home. That's where it mattered the most, because every single fan in that stadium had not even thought about losing that game. Not even thought. Even at 1-0 down, they thought we could get it back. But the minute Ollie Watkins scored that second goal, we were done.
Seema, if you think about it, though, if you go back to Sunday, yeah. Sorry, Vincent.
No, I got it. Yeah.
Sorry. If you go back to Sunday, and if you break it down, the dreams were smashed in 2 minutes because of Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but there was a point, and this is what I said in the other chat. I don't know if the cameras picked it up, but our team's set piece guy, he was telling the team, guess what, guys, it's 2-1. It's 2-1. And and the team were responding to it. You could see that they were fighting.
Prosper, I think you wanted to say something. You'll put your thing up to say something, Prosper.
No, I was acknowledging what Sima was saying. Like we gave the title to Man City, and just the other day somebody was saying on the group we didn't borrow it. So what's bottling? When you basically hand over the trophy to your opponents, you've borrowed it. Doesn't matter if you've done it by 10 points or 1 point.
No, we didn't.
You've borrowed it.
No, we bought it last season.
We didn't borrow it because we took it to the last game. We took it,
but we handed it over to the opponent. If we agree that we handed it over on a silver plate, then we've borrowed it. By a mile or a centimeter, it doesn't matter.
This season is not a bottling season. I'm so sorry. No, it's not.
Okay, so how do we define handing it over? We
fell short. We fell short. We didn't hand it. We gave it to them. We fell short.
I mean, I was using your language. You said we gave City the title. So I was agreeing to that.
I'm saying we did. But we didn't bottle it because we fought all the way. But we fell short in that game, every other game. And what did Villa do afterwards? They just went downhill. Every single game they went downhill.
Yeah, but we can't be. I've always spoken about Aston Villa. We can't be comparing Arsenal to Aston Villa. Look at the finances, look at the club history, look at everything. We're not supposed to be competing with Aston Villa and saying, okay, fine, Villa has gone down. They're supposed to go down. They don't have the resources to have a big club, a big team, big depth. We have all the resources to stay up there and to stay consistent. So we're not supposed to be giving points away to teams like Villa.
No,
in the first place.
I'm saying we handed it to them. We actually handed it to City because we gave those points. We fell short. But that was the only game we fell short on. Otherwise, we were there.
Fulham, Seema?
Yeah, I mean, Fulham, yeah. I mean, I agree. That's the only one that I didn't mention. So we had those 4 games, okay? But, the rest of the games, we were there. We were, whereas previous, last season, it was like 8 games before. And then you can say, yeah, we bottled it because it was 8 games and we were very poor.
Yeah. If we're talking about the second half of the season, I can... Oh, who's coming? Okay.
No, go for finish.
Go on,
if we're talking about the second half of the season, I can agree with you. But if you're talking where we lost this season is the first half of the season. Because that's where we messed up a lot. We messed up a lot. I mean, it's guaranteed that you're going to lose. You're going to have a boogie game, a boogie team in the league. It's always been there. For Wenger, it was Bolton United. And sometimes Southampton and Middlesbrough, the Yakubus, they would really give him a headache. It was always like that. And sometimes Fulham for Wenger. So you'd always have that boogie team. For us, it was Villa this time around. So the first half, they hit us. Arteta would have been, okay, let's do all the games we can win in the first half. So that if we meet Villa again, we have that bad day again, it shouldn't cost us the league. You see?
we're not having a back. We're not. Okay, the whole thing with Villa is only because of Unai Emery. It's not because it's Villa. It's because Unai Emery. It's kind of like we
that
were back.
boogie team.
We were
That
trying to
boogie
prove
team.
not the team.
That boogie team. Last season they beat us one. Didn't they beat us one?
No, but the fans were trying to prove that we were good to get rid of Unai Emery. That's what it was about. It wasn't about the Villa and Arsenal. It was Unai Emery versus the Arsenal or Arteta. It wasn't. There was no I don't know what the word is, but it just wasn't about that. It wasn't. I'm so sorry, but I really hate fans saying that we bottled it this season because we didn't.
We lost points to Villa last season. Villa beat us last season. So you going into the next season, or we going into next season, we're going to face Villa. We're supposed to be cautious. And then they beat us the first leg. The second leg, you're supposed to be cautious. So whatever it takes, you're supposed to get all the points. So you say, if we're going to meet Man City, we're going to meet Villa, because it's our boogie team of the season. At least if we're dropping points, we should still remain on top. Because
Villa did beat us last season. Last season we won.
This season and last season, there's two differences. The tactics that Arteta is using, is that last season he didn't take the game to each club. This season he took the game to each club and he played it the way he should have played it. So he went there and he used his tactics to against the other clubs. We could see that on the pitch. Look how we were last season.
But against Villa, we went numb. Against Villa, we went numb. There was no tactics whatsoever. That game was cold. Same as Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
And several games that I can point out. So that's football, You always have that boogie team, and Villa was that boogie team for us.
It was. I'm glad we agree on that.
It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
We didn't bottle it. Sorry.
Give Vincey time.
Yeah.
Vincey, you want to say something? I can see you've been bursting.
Yeah, I don't think we bottled it this year. I think for me, the frustration was the first half of the season. Too many games we had to really salvage things in the second half. And one thing I would give huge credit to Arteta was that he was able to make substitutions that made the difference in the second half in games. But to me, the first half of those games, by half time, we should have really been in control of those games. The Christmas period was hugely frustrating for me because, again, yes, the new tactics that teams were playing against us, double teaming, it took us too long in games to adjust. So when it comes up to Villa, as Seema was saying, it is the fans, it is the media, it is the fact of Unai Emery, which makes that game even harder. But the saddest thing for me in that first game is we took far too long to adjust to the tactics that Aston Villa played. And that's why we lost the game, because we had opportunities and we should have killed the game off. We just didn't take our chances. So when we come to the second game, knowing that we didn't take our chances against Man City, and for me, that's where we handed it over, because we had to be perfect for the rest of the season. So we go back to Aston Villa and we just don't perform. And again, it's like at that point, we're hoping for Man City, who know that all they need to go and do what they're used to doing, get the result. So I think it's a case where, I feel for the players because you can see the effort they've put in. The defense this season, unbelievable. I'm sitting here shocked 2 seasons that Arteta and those boys have been able to put up that challenge to Man City. And I'm asking myself, are we going to get a better chance to win the league? And I'm not sure. It's frustrating and it hurts. But as Isaac says, we're right there with the age of the squad, with the ability. But to get to that next level, it's not going to be as easy as it's been these last 2 years. It's going to be a real struggle. but we can do it, and that's the hope. We positioned ourselves in that place where we can mount bona fide challengers next season for the Premiership, and I was refreshed to see how we tackled Europe, because for being for so long out of the Champions League, to put in a performance the way we did, you have to give it to the guys. So that for me is the biggest success of this season, more what we did in Europe, in how we performed in Europe, than the Premiership, because I think we really let ourselves down in over that Christmas period.
Vinci, very quickly, Vinci, do you still believe that Arteta is the person to get the guys winning major trophies, whether if it's not next season, the season after that?
I mean, he's got the squad in a position to win trophies. Major trophies, if we're talking Champions League, because I will have to differentiate Champions League and the Premier League. We can win the Premier League. Right now, we can't win the Champions League without a striker. It's just not going to happen. The way how we play football, the way how we move the ball, it's a dream to win that Champions League without a striker. And it's not good enough. If you think about the way how the money has been spent, the way how the tactics that we use, we did great to get to where we were in the Champions League. So major trophies, Premiership, we can win the Premiership, Champions League, not right now, the way how the squad's set up.
Okay. Sima, you want to say something before we move on?
Oh, no, I mean, you guys should have said I could have asked Cronky how much we had to spend this season, you know. I mean, I had the perfect opportunity. I shook his hand, put the picture, I called him over.
Sima, you should have just said Sima from Cannon Fodder TV.
We need an exclusive.
Alex, can I throw something into the mix, please?
Go on.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay, so Vincey makes great points. I agree with him. We're not Champions League yet, but I think we could win the Premiership, yeah? But I know we don't like it. We established last week on this show that we don't like excuses, but here we go. Arsenal lost 7 points this season due to referees' decisions. We would have won the league. No, don't take your deep breath in, Alex. No.
That's an excuse. That's an excuse.
No, it's not. It's the truth. It was proven. If it wasn't proven, then it would be an excuse. It was proven. So all I'm saying is them 7. No, okay, excuses. I know we don't like excuses, but those 7 points would have made a difference. They would have made a difference. We would have won the league.
Definitely. I mean, I agree. We would have won the league.
And how many did we win because of referee? Poor referee?
Good question.
It's the very first game of the season.
Goalkeepers. No.
I know. What I'm saying is it's spilt milk. It's crying over spilt milk. I know. But that's all my Arsenal friends have thrown at me since Sunday. If we'd have had those referee decisions where we lost 7 points, we would have won the league. So if we're talking about the negativity and the failure and the disappointment, as we are talking about, it has to be thrown in there because it could have been a turning point.
And Enforcer, do you also agree that part and parcel of wearing this shirt and loving this club is us not getting those type of decisions?
Of course, yes. As I say, this is I'm just making a point of it. I'm not trying to sway anybody. I'm not trying to say this is because of this. I'm just saying the 7 points would have made a difference. Do you know what I mean? No, don't, Vincent. You know me. Everybody on this screen, everybody watching at home, across the world, whatever the case may be, love this team.
Yeah,
and that's why I think it hurts so much.
And I think for me, that's why
so much.
I think for me, that's why I love the squad of '89, because that season, what they went through, the adversity, and they got over the line in that final game, for me, just epitomized what this club's about and why we love it.
That could be one of the most sensible things any of us have said in the last 2 weeks, mate, because that is the truth. You can't draw a line under that. That is the truth. That's gospel. What you've just said is gospel, and I totally agree with you.
But Vincey, was that part and parcel down to George Graham, an experienced manager?
I think
preparing them for the fight.
Yes, but I think also the injustice of what we experienced and so forth galvanized the whole squad and the fan base. And as Enforcer said, those points by VAR, it sent most of us, gave us mental health challenges this season, because we're pulling our hair out, screaming because it's blatant. However, we seem to be part and parcel, as you can see.
I can't pull off with that. I've got a rub, mate. I've got a rub.
I'm not going to start mine. Thank you very much.
You're not going to
no.
But yeah, it's like those things. It tore us apart. But again, we seem to have this with this club. Whether it's the FA, whether it's the referees, they don't want us to win it, and we unfortunately have to prove on the pitch, no shadow of a doubt, that we are the better team. And snatch it.
Let's just put something else in the spanner now. Did any one of those players throw that City game, that final game of the season from West Ham? Considering we've had one that's already been charged with doing it.
I thought they were a little bit weak at times. Some of those goals were weak, and it's annoying because
so it's the Spurs one as well, right?
Yeah.
How that first one just went in, and how Son just missed. So was there like?
I saw a brown envelope sticking out of Son's shorts. I saw a brown envelope sticking out of Son's shorts. I really did when he was running up the field. I'm telling you.
Don't say anything.
I'll say what. Seema, I'm the enforcer. I say what I like.
I'll second that. I'll second it.
Seema, you've been on the show with me. You know how I work.
I know.
We'll call Seema the powerhouse.
I want an investigation in this.
I'm with you, Seema. I'm with you. But they are, love. It's 115 charges. We'll find out in the autumn.
Not with City. I want bloody West Ham.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's West Ham that I'm more worried about because all the bloody London clubs. They forget the London clubs. Everybody wanted their rivals to win, as long as it wasn't us.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When did Liverpool ever want Everton to win? Seriously, I was gobsmacked. Oh,
yeah.
Anyway.
Let me go to
the
the live chat.
last game of the season.
I need to go
People
to
were saying it was the world against Arsenal.
Of course it was.
Because everybody was against us except for the Arsenal fans. You see, my United friends were all City. And I don't remember where there was a friendship between City and United.
Yeah.
And I told them, okay, you support City. But then during the FA Cup final, I might don the City jersey. I'll also be going all City because you've shown me enough problems.
Yeah, but what about the rumor that's going around now that if City win the FA Cup final, who is it? They qualify for Europe or something?
Man United.
No, if United win the FA, they qualify for Europe.
Yeah.
No, City.
The only thing City can't win is the charity. It's just a charity shield.
That's it. That's what the rumor is. I think that if they win the FA Cup or they lose
City
something,
charity shield for the last 2 years.
yeah, that we get. Is it we get to go to Wembley?
Yeah, if City win, we get to go to Wembley.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and if United win, they go to
I need to go into the live chat. I'm going to go into the live chat.
I am not supporting City. Okay, so there you go.
Right, we've got our ever-present moderator, Ashley, who says, hey up, Gooners, and hey up to you. And I recognise this person. Gooner matters. Even Alex and the
Who's that?
Emerson says, even Alex, Vincey, Des, and Prosper, and Seema. Let's have a look here. Who else do we have here? Devin says, the Enforcer, your favorite player is an invincible now.
He's on about the X-Men, Alex. He's on about the X-Men.
Yeah, Granit Xhaka, an invincible. Who would? Did you foresee that, Seema? Granit Xhaka is an invincible. He had to leave Arsenal to become invincible.
They got Granit Xhaka. They got. Not we got. They got.
You know what?
After that, you're welcome.
On that point, Granit Xhaka would have fitted in the team this season, I think.
Yeah.
With Partey being out.
Yeah.
With Partey being out, I think he would have fitted in all right.
Good point. Wonton Soup, nice name handle there. It says, what's that? Alan Cleary's 442 video on why Arsenal didn't win the league was very interesting. I haven't seen it. He said we lost the league due to lack of ability to transition playing during December.
Spot on.
And then they went to Dubai, and then they just...
yes.
Spot on.
We need to go to Dubai twice a year.
Yeah, we need to. Definitely.
3 times we might get a League Cup.
Hey, I think they should go on every bank holiday.
Exactly.
It's only a 6-hour flight.
Tony Pugilis Boy says, big up family. And he also says that he is disappointed. Yeah, Sambol is also in the live chat. Says, greetings, Alex panel and the chat room. And Tony's having a bit of a pop at me. I don't care. He says, Alex, you can't help mention Unai Emery. No, I can't. Unai Emery. Even although they collapsed dramatically at Villa, but he's some kind of messiah. Well, just the thing, when he took over, they were on the cost of being relegated. And he's also won the Europa League 3 times, and he's secured top 4 for them to be back in the Europa League for the first time in 41 years. Something of a messiah.
Excuses.
Thank you, Forza. Alonso, less than a season, 1 defeat all season. I mean, he's done a great job, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Great job.
Credit when credit's due.
Refreshing.
Yep, and Lady Seema, lovely. Well-connected, lovely lady. Tony, squad size was Emery's problem in the end. He will address that this summer window. Just maybe a couple more. No matter what you say, we've given City 2 titles. Seema, have we given them 2 titles?
I'll just say 1.
Just 1. Have 1. One enough.
It was literally sitting there. There you go. It was horrible. It was gut-wrenching to say it, but had to be said.
Yeah. We lost a title in December when we dropped points in 4 out of 7 games. And we just take a breather from that. Listen, like I said, we did the poll about whether the season was a success or a failure. And like I said, the numbers don't lie. 79% of the subscribers and followers say it was a successful season. Where? Which part? I can't see it, Seema. I can't see it.
That's why I said disappointing.
Well, anyway, here's just a few comments that we picked up from the channel. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It's kind of small. But this one comes from Jack Williams 2049, who says, the question has such a simple answer, but the fact over 75% said no. I'm sorry, but you need to seriously consider stop watching sports altogether. Only Arsenal celebrate second place. Do other sports teams in other sports think second place is a success or something to be proud of? No. Then we have Michael Underwood 2020 who says season was a success in the fact that we were better than last year on all stats. But stats, well, anyway, when Arsenal would have been good enough to win the league. Just Man City are monstrous. And then we have Christopher Coddington 8994 who says, this is Arteta's last season. Win nothing, no excuses from what's his ATV. He has to go or we're going to find ourselves in the last 10 years of a Wenger era where more delusional starts to set in.
Back to the XG rubbish, isn't it? And all that. The XG and no, football is 1-0, 2-0, 2-2. You know, stats don't mean diddly squat.
Yeah. Seema, I know you wasn't on. I know you haven't been on Cannon Fodder TV for a while. What does Mikel Arteta have to do, or what do the players have to do next season, apart from win the Premier League? What do they really have to do in the build-up to that? Sell players, buy players.
Well, yeah, clearly a few have to go. We haven't used them much. Everybody knows that I'm not a big fan of Eddie Nketiah, you know, and only because he had the perfect opportunity last season to step up and become that forward, you know, that our goal scorer, our up front. He didn't take it. He just didn't grasp it, you know, and, you know, that kind of let us down for this season, because had he stepped up, we'd be okay. So, you know, a few of them, have to go. But I'm really not sure, like, what I don't want to see is we're going to buy in big egos. That's the thing I don't want to see. Because right now the team is such a unit. They gel. They know each other. They see where the ball. Sometimes maybe, you know, we've had the odd thing with Partey and maybe, you know, Kai, you know, missing the vision of where the ball's meant to be going. But otherwise, I think the team have gelled very well. They know what each other is going to be doing and where they're going to be playing the ball. So, yeah, I mean, you know, to have, you know, striker, yes, but as long as they don't have a big ego, because that will just deflate the team, that will split the team, and then you get, you know, all sorts of shit.
Maybe a striker, Seema, that hasn't got an ego.
No one. Everyone's got a bloody ego. Because it talks. This talks. Right? This talks. And it's just, you know, what you don't want is, you know, we're going to bring someone in. Yeah, we did the most fantastic thing, bringing in Rice at 105 million, but we didn't bring an ego with him. He came, he slotted himself in as a colleague, you know, with his leadership role, but he didn't take over what Odegaard was supposed to be doing. You know, do you know what I mean? He stayed behind Odegaard as a shadow. He didn't overstep his mark to show that, you know what, I was captain there, so I'm going to be, you know, I can show that I've got it here.
He played his position.
Yeah, and he stuck with it.
Yeah.
You know, before when we had, you know, Aubameyang and Lacazette and Pepe, you know, it was like, well, it's my spot. I'm not moving. I'm not doing it. You know, and now they cover each other and they confuse the opposition, don't they? We've seen so many times. I'm like, what the hell is he doing over there? He's not meant to be there. What the hell is what's his name? Oh God, he's scoring goals.
Ben White.
No, Tommy. Tommy.
Tommy Atkins.
Like, what is he doing? He's like, he's not even meant to be there, but yeah, he's doing it.
Well, I've never known
allowed to do it.
I've never known Arsenal use the overlap so much as we did last season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Seema, have you been disappointed with Gabriel Jesus this season?
So I was, but do you know what I mean? I found that in some of the games, he was like sulker. He sulked. You know what I mean? Like he'd drop his head, and then all of a sudden there was this like sudden kick up where he's running, he's going back on. If he's made a mistake, he's going back on it. He's fighting for the ball, but he just wasn't finishing it. It's like, you know, all of a sudden there was some blockage every time the net came in front of him. So maybe he needs someone to give him a bit of competition and fight. And Kai, look at Kai. He's just come out of his shell. Everybody was against him at the beginning of the season. I was like, no, just let him be. He's come from Chelsea playing a different form of game. He's got to fit in with the Arsenal team. And once he's got going, you can't stop him now.
Well, the enforcer was against him.
I'll tell you what. That's a great segue, that is. Thanks very much. Yes. Okay. I'll keep it
And
real.
Prosper.
I'll keep it real.
Yeah, I'm still against him. I need a big ego at number 9. I don't need boys that are going to be bullied, like he was bullied in the Bayern game. I need big egos for number 9.
I was against it because I just didn't see the potential. But then, as I said last week, we started playing him in the right position. Instead, he should have never been in midfield. He should have been up front. We started playing him in the right position, and then suddenly, yeah, okay, hands up. Sorry, Kai. I shouldn't have called you Casper the Friendly Ghost. You know, because he started playing foot. He actually started doing what he's getting paid for. You know,
60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again.
Just singing. Vincey, who's been your player of the season?
I think for me, Declan Rice has been absolutely outstanding. To just walk into the midfield and with that price tag, perform the way he performed, he was everywhere. You know, he was in my fantasy team. That's how far he was. You know what I mean? He got everywhere. You know, taking corners. He improved in my estimation as what he needed to do for England in an Arsenal shirt. You know, the guy, he elevated his game in one season, and that for me shows the desire that he wanted to show and that he's got for the club. And a close second, I think Ben White had an absolutely outstanding season with some dodgy knees. You know, Ben White, seriously, the guy's got knee problems, but he was being putting in the shifts, scoring goals, and I'm looking and thinking, I'm expecting him to get more tired in how he was playing in games, and he's still there, and he was chipping in overlaps. I mean, if he took that chance in that first half against Bayern Munich, I think we'd be having a different conversation. And for that chance to fall to Ben White shows how good he was playing in the overlap and in transition. So, yeah, definitely Declan Rice for me, the player, but a close behind him, Ben White. And obviously, I love Saliba. I think Saliba has shown fans from 2 seasons ago that, you know what, okay, with him being injured, we could have probably taken it.
Say it.
Could have taken it. And again, I scouted him as a player, and I said this guy needed to be in the Arsenal team when he was playing 2 seasons in France, because he's got the ability on the ball, and to play every game this season, every minute, the way he's played, I just think France have got a player. You know, years to come, France have got a player. We've got a young player, and yeah, he's a stalwart. Those 2 centre backs, even Gabriel. You know, he missed the first few games this season. You know, it's for the defense, the way they played. I just think it's absolutely outstanding to not win anything, playing the way they did. Speaks volumes. Speaks volumes.
I was wondering, did you mention Trossard? Did they mention Trossard? No? 20-odd million pounds?
Trossard, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a player who can perform off the bench. There's times where, you know, we wanted him to start and he struggled. I'm going to see he struggled in games starting. But he's got the ability where in certain situations, he's not afraid to shoot. And that's what I like. And that's what I think the team needed, because too often we're looking for that extra pass and walking the ball into the net. He's prepared to keep the goalkeeper honest, and he can shoot. So, you know, there's no surprise in those abilities are shown when you're the first person to come on as a sub and make an impact and make a change. So that shows the quality. You know, if we talked last show about Solskjaer, that type of player, we've got a Trossard. So for me, Arteta needs to build the team to allow make those changes with different formations, have the right plays in the right situation, we'll get across the line.
Enforcer, for you, who's been the player that's disappointed you so far in the season?
The player that's disappointed me.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was going to ask
If any player.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I would have to say. I would have to say Gabriel Jesus, to be honest. Because I was just expecting more from him. I've got to say I agree with everything Vinci has said. I would throw Odegaard in there because that boy, the passes and the vision he's got is just crazy. I would like to say this, that next season we need someone who can shoot from outside the box. That's one thing we are lacking. Shoot from, you look at Rodri's goal on Sunday. You're talking what, 22, 25 meters out, and he still scored. You know, we need people that. I mean, El Neni used to do it. Yeah, he could only shoot from outside the box, couldn't he? You know what I mean? But we need someone who isn't. You know, because how many times, like Vinci says, how many times in the build up, right? You probably sat there with whoever you're watching it with, and you're like, shoot, and they're outside the area. But like Vinci says, they're trying to always walk it in. But to say the player that, go back to the original question, the player that disappointed me, yeah, Jesus. The player that surprised me, and I think it's because he was in the back four with Ben, Gabriel, and Saliba, was Kivior. I think he did actually start to find his feet, and he's a better defender than Zinni. I like Zinni, do not get me wrong, but he's a better defender than Zinni. I'm disappointed about Rambo because I never thought I was cool with Rambo being in goal, to be honest with you. Not taking anything away from Raya, but there was nothing wrong with Rambo, you know. So yeah, I would, and I don't like saying it because I think as a team they've performed really well. But I'd have to say Jesus to answer your question.
For you, voice of reason, a player that's disappointed you, and the player that surprised you this season.
I wouldn't say disappointed me, but I'll say underperformed.
Okay.
I agree with the enforcer. That is Jesus for me because we did expect a lot from him, and at times he was firing blanks, and his confidence went down. But yeah, he's underperformed for me for this season. If you look across the team, you can argue the case for so many players for being player of the season because I've had Declan Rice. For me, I've gone with Odegaard for player of the season because he knits everything together. He brings the unity. He's the silent captain. He's not making noise, but he's leading by example. You see him press, and he calls the others to press together with him. That's the kind of leader I need. I don't want a leader who's complaining to the ref each and every time. I want a leader who leads by example, who shows you how to do it. And when it is hard, he gives you those precise passes for you to be able to score. And the player who's surprised me this season, Ben White. Nobody gave him credit, but he can walk into even the Man City team and still play. He can walk into the Liverpool team and still play because of how he plays, how he's enduring pain. I remember there's a time I saw him train, and he had a strap on his knee, and there were some reports that he's one player who knows how to mask his injuries so that he is not left out of the squad. He can mask his injury and train with an injury and then go and play. He has an injury, but he will give his best because he's played so many games with a strapping.
Wow.
And I believe he's one player who's, if you don't, okay, if you undermine him, then he's out. He's out. He's not going to stay there and you keep undermining him. If you don't show him respect, he's out.
Mm. Is there a reason why you've said that, Isaac?
Yeah, because we saw him pulling out of the England squad. It is a shame that he pulled out, but he has his reasons, and I understand. If you know, this guy tells you he doesn't watch soccer, and I love his honesty. You know, it would have been bad if someone tells you, you know, I've been a soccer fan, I've been watching Arsenal since I was a young kid, but you go to the internet, since the internet does not forget, it shows you he was never an Arsenal fan. You know, you post on the internet, but however much you take it down, the internet does not forget. But I like the way he's straightforward, he's honest, and he tells you, my mom and my dad are not soccer fans. They only come to the stadium to watch me. And the way he tells you that I don't watch so much soccer, I only enjoy playing. I love his honesty. That is what I love about him. Him being honest, and when he's given the job, he does it. He does not complain, he does it. And when he is on the bench, he understands that sometimes you have got to be on the bench. Because right now, I tend to believe he knows he has competition in the Samurai, who scores goals, even if he's not a striker. We love to see him score in the Everton game, because he was, and you can see the fight in each and every player. And I was, you know, after that game, I went and looked for each player and what they said. And I'm not surprised actually to see Declan Rice tell Josh that I didn't know it was this hot. I didn't know it was this good. I know it was good, but I didn't know it was this good. And then you see the player with their spouses, with their partners, and that unity. That is more than a family. It's not just a job. It is the family that comes. You feel that you are part of something, and you can fight for that. And someone said there's an interview Rodri gave, and he said he thanks Villa for giving them the league, and that he told Grealish that to send his counterparts at Villa and messages thanking them, because that is the only game that turned everything around. And someone said this comment that Rodri made is going to give Arsenal some fire next season. They are going to come and say, we are going to do it from the beginning to the end. We are not going to give it a break, and not going to rest. And I believe that one, and having listened to what the manager said and the captain said, that is on the final day, I listened to the speech, and Arteta was almost crying when he was making his speech, because he knew he was so close. And I want to believe that fire is going to pick from there. And next season, he's going to make it even better, because he's now had the experience. He's seen where he's fumbled. He's seen that the other season was the second part of the season. And I want to believe he's seen that this season was the first part of the season. That you have to, it's finer margins. You have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. And he's got to sign. And I saw some breaking news that Partey is going.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Partey is going,
Yeah.
that I want to believe is going to get a good midfielder in there. Because I've seen, for me, Rice, we brought in Rice as Partey's backup, and Havertz has as Xhaka's backup. But those two players right now, they are playing better in different positions than the position we brought them in for. Rice is playing number 8, second number 8, and is playing fantastic. Havertz, we brought him as a number 8, but he's doing a number 9. And we've got to go out and bring a number 6, a holding midfielder.
Isaac, I thought Thomas Partey was a right back, man. Is he not right back?
Bro.
No?
Easy,
No.
Tiger.
For me, it's not a right back. It was experimental. It was experimental because Arteta had his issues with the big Gabi. But I believe it was resolved, and the big Gabi came in. And he has got to learn. He's got to go to Wenger and ask. Wenger, you could disagree, but he'll still give you game time. He's got to go back to Wenger and ask for that wisdom, that even if you disagree with a player, you have got to see sense where there is sense, because you're not right all the time.
Yeah.
You can also be a manager and still be at fault.
Yeah.
And your player can tell you, from me, I see this will work better. And if it is okay, take it by the chin, implement it, and give credit where it is due. Don't have Partey as your right back, and he's 30 years right now. He cannot cannot run back.
Prosper, the player that who's been the player of the season for you?
Just like Vince has said, and everybody here, for me, Declan Rice. Declan Rice. Because if you look at Arsenal, starting from after we let Song go, that defending midfielder, holding midfielder position has been a heartache. And probably why everybody is so much on Ramsey, is because Ramsdale. Is because whenever Arsenal doesn't have a proper defending guy, like Saka wouldn't come back and defend, and his pace couldn't do him justice, the centre backs would be exposed. And that's why you're talking about a solid centre back, because there's been Rice there who could come back with pace. If he doesn't get the ball, at least he'll put pressure on you, on the attacking midfield of the position, not to make that sweet pass, because of his pace, So much as Rice is a center midfielder, he did a lot of Partey's job, and it hurts me to see Partey go when we haven't replaced him for 3 seasons. Now we're talking we need 2 defending midfielders, holding midfielders, as is right now, which is a big ask, because as Isaac was saying, we're going to come back with fire. But for me, which brings me to the point I wanted to stress, the most disappointing player for this season was Arteta for me. Because for me, it starts in the transfer. If you goof in the transfer, it's going to be a messy season, So you can't be saying we're going to come with fire and everything, then the transfer, you're not doing the right signings, you're not filling the right gaps. Right now, he's busy. He's so obsessed with the Zini's position, which to me is okay with the manpower we have there. We have Tavares, Timber, Zini. It's solid, but he's so obsessed with that position. We don't have defending midfielders. We don't have Saka's deputy. We don't have 2 center forwards. So if you don't buy those, even if you come with fire in the season, and then if we fail to shoot, or we let in some cheap goals like in the Villa game because we didn't have a holding midfielder, then when we lose the season, I don't blame it on the players. The players gave in what they could give, but it's the manager's decisions, those right decisions, the nitty-gritties, he has to get right. So for me, the letdown of the season was Arteta, because he didn't sign a center forward. 3 seasons now, no center forwards. Big club in Europe, no natural center forward. I can't blame Jesus. We all know when Jesus was coming, we all knew he's a misfirer. You know, the stats don't lie. You know, you don't expect 30 goals, 20 goals from a guy who's never scored those goals. See? So I can't blame him. He's doing what he's always done. He's consistent. You know, so but if the manager doesn't buy a player with the pedigree, you know, to score those goals, then it's his fault. It all comes back to the manager. So for me, this season, the letdown was the manager. His decisions didn't do us justice. In the first half, in the transfer, before the season started, I started saying this right in September. Look, without a center forward, a big league, you can't go in blank like that. You know, as Sama was saying, you relying on ADs and everything. They're not going to punch you 15, 20 goals in a season. Never. You know, but at least Unai got that right. Is it Unai who bought Aubameyang? Was it Unai or Wenger?
I think it was Wenger, wasn't it?
It was Wenger.
Awesome.
Arsene
It was
Wenger.
Yeah.
You see, Wenger never used to debate on that. He knew Aubameyang was banging goals, and when he came to Arsenal, he was banging 20 plus goals. You know, there's just some things you just don't have to say, I'm gonna build this player. No. At the level of Arsenal, we're supposed to be getting those big egos, especially for center number 9. You need a big ego when the game is as tough as the Bayern Munich game was. You need a Benzema there to say, no, I'm Benzema. I'm gonna score. I'm whoever. I'm gonna score against this team. You don't need guys that go low when everything is low. You need guys that stand up. You know. So for me, I think the biggest accolade here for Arteta has been his decision making. But like Isaac was saying, he has to learn fast and he has to adjust. So this transfer will determine how far we'll go next season.
You know, I've been watching some other platforms, especially ESPN, and they're talking about, you know, Pep Guardiola might be at Man City for maybe maximum 2 more seasons. And that is the only barrier I see that Arsenal win the Premier League. So, Seema, you know, do we keep with Mikel Arteta until he wins the Premier League?
Well, you know what I'm going to say, right?
I know what you're going to say. I'm recording this.
There you go. Of course we do. We're not like I said, we're not like other clubs. So we, you know, they're not going to bring someone new in on a team that he's built, and he's kept them solid, consistent, right? Yeah, okay, here we go. Didn't win anything, didn't do this, didn't do that. He's building it, and he's building it strong, and he knows that he's got command over that team. You know, they see that he has the power. Before, the shift would have been like the players, oh well, we control the manager. No, the manager now controls the players. You know, he makes them do what he needs them to do. They don't go on that pitch and run left instead of going right. You know, they go and stay and play the way he wants it done, according to the game plan. Now, some of those game plans hadn't worked, but it's the game plan that he wants. And we see it happening. Oh, and by the way, you know, when you're right there about we need somebody who will shoot from outside the box. The whole stadium shouts out, shoot! But they don't shoot.
Because Arteta doesn't want them playing that way, Seema.
No, because they do the long balls. Arsenal never used to do the long balls before, and they started playing long balls as well. So they are implementing changes, but slowly. Because it is frustrating, you know, for them not to be scoring when we as fans see that it's clear, go for it, but they don't go for it. So it is a frustration, but there's you know, maybe the ones who don't have it, we need somebody who come in. And it's not about egos, it's about having the confidence. Ego brings everybody down because they want to show themselves above. It's about being confident, you know, being up front and being able to take the ball on against the player, not against their own team. So somebody with an ego will do that. Whereas, you know what? Confidence. Sorry?
For the longest time, Arsenal has never had a bad boy.
No, but they had the problem with Aubameyang and Lacazette in the team, and we could see it.
Aubameyang wasn't a bad boy per se.
I'm not saying he's bad, but he had a bad
player like Rooney. We've never had a Rooney, a guy that will really get a red card in the first 5 minutes, but he'll be there. He'll bang goals. We've never had a bad boy, and that's the character we lack, especially
he was
in the
not
Champions.
a good captain. He was
The
definitely
first
not a good captain.
No, I'm not talking about Aubameyang. I'm talking about the prowess in the center forward position. You need somebody who can, when bullied by defenders, you used to have the Pepes, defenders like Pepes and Sergio Ramos. You need somebody who's a bit Balotelli there, a bit, who was this Chelsea guy from Atletico Madrid? This Spanish guy. Big guy.
Oh, I know him.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he a bit of a rough guy, who will say, "I'll bang this goals," whether you guys like it or not. We need that kind of character. Yeah, we need that kind of character in Arsenal. We haven't had that kind of a character. We've always had these guys that are yes manager, whatever, and they're easily bullied by centre backs. We don't want that. We want guys that are stubborn. They're like Gabriel, the defender. You can't just bully that guy. He'll come back at you. So even centre forwards are afraid, okay, if I give this guy a knock or something, he'll get back at me, So that's the kind of character we want right now up there. Not the ego whereby I'm the big star and everything, but the guy that says I'm a score, regardless of who's there.
Yeah.
Des, you want to say something?
I was just going to say the first player where the ego thing started when you talk about people talk about Aubameyang and Lacazette was Guendouzi. He was the first what you'd call bad apple, really.
Yeah.
I've ever known Arsenal go, well, for a long time, go, right, he's got to go. Do you know what I mean?
But didn't Thierry Henry have an ego?
Different kind of ego, though, wasn't it?
That was big ego. I like that.
Yes,
ego.
He did, but he didn't shove it in people's faces.
Didn't he?
Nah, tell you, he had class, mate. He had class. You know he did.
I think it was...
Okay, I'll throw one back at you. Did Liam Brady not have an ego?
He did.
There you go. Every good player has an ego. Okay. All I'm saying is, though, there's egos that suit the team, right? And there are egos that don't. And Guendouzi's was one of those that didn't. He was upsetting people.
Yeah.
He had to go.
But why? Why, Des? Why? As Isaac said, as a manager, you have to deal with those characters. You can't say, at the moment that they're belligerent and question your decision, they're out of the door. You have to deal with those characters because manage.
That's part of managing. That is definitely part of managing. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just pointing someone out where to me that's where that sort of thing started. I thought it started with Guendouzi, where the manager turned around and said, "Right, I've had enough of you, mate. You've got to go."
Mm.
I think Guendouzi had his challenges, but he also had ability. And I think at the time, the way how the team was played, that some of the tactics that Emery was using didn't help the team. And I think it's sometimes when we say people have an ego, it's half of the story, because I think that our invincible team, there was a lot of egos in that team. I was a huge fan of Thierry Henry when he was at Monaco. Thierry Henry had an ego. Jens Lehmann, he had an ego. Patrick Vieira had an ego. Mark had an ego. There's players in that invincible team that respected each other. Arsene Wenger said it was very easy for them to go out there and perform. So when you're actually performing and you're in the trenches and you're getting the job done, your ego is put into the right place. But when it's not, and you're not getting, and the manager's not making the right decisions, that's when egos go out of shape. And I think sometimes it's not just about the player. I think the manager has to take a lot of responsibility. And I think also the club, as fans, the club has put us in this situation. For these young millennials have been starved as Arsenal fans of the success that we've had for years, because the club has put us in this situation. So when players come to Arsenal, knowing the history of that great invincible team, we should be doing a hell of a lot better. So this is where huge credit to Arteta for what he has done to get the essence back in the club, get a new breed of excitement back there with the fans. I've gone to games this season and I've seen it, and I'm like, wow, this is like
Yeah.
At moments, it feels like I'm at Anfield, because as a young kid, I used to go to Anfield painfully watching Arsenal lose to Liverpool. But to see the Liverpool fans singing the way they're singing, I'm seeing that now at the Emirates. So that's a huge, huge change for the club, which was needed.
There was a gulf between the fans and the club for a very long time.
Massive.
Huge.
Yeah. Isaac, are you just pointing?
Wow. Okay, good. I'll not say ego. So just saw a comment and I was pointing to it that ego disrupts. For example, I wouldn't want Mbappe at Arsenal because he will disrupt everything. He's a good player, but because of his ego, he will disrupt everything.
Yeah.
What we need is character. There's a difference between character and ego. When you have character, and my Q, we have there is a research that has personality analysis, and which has put Arsenal as their fans and their players are soft. But for United, they want to show that they have class. That is a personality analysis for United. They want to show everybody that they have class. For the Chelsea, they are rude boys. You look at their team, look at their fan base, they are all rude all the time. But for Arsenal, and actually they have this analysis where you get even the kind of jobs you find the Arsenal supporters are doing, that most of them are bank managers, teachers, medical doctors, because they are calm, they are composed. But you go to the side of Man City, not City, United, you get engineers. So they want to show you they have class. So I want us to have character. Of course, right now we have character. You look across the team, we have players with character. That is, from Declan Rice, immediately you know there is character there because he's a leader. And Arteta went in and bought leaders. You see, with him, he has leaders in his team, and that's why perhaps we are hearing there is a leadership group, and I want to believe that is one of the reasons he added Jorginho one more year, because he's kind of a leader. He's leading the group. He's like, he's bringing in his experience. He's not complaining. You've not heard him complain anywhere, and he wants to build a team. He wants to build a team that is full of character and full of leaders. That is what will get us somewhere. Not egos isolated will kill us, but characters joined together will give us big results.
Positive characters.
Vincey, Henry was a character.
Henry was a character. Henry was phenomenal.
I'm going on Isaac's scale. He was a character.
I had everything, and he would show it. Even Bergkamp.
He could back it up. He could back it up. That was the thing. People like Henry could back it up.
Yeah.
You know. Sorry, Alex. Crack on.
No, Prosper. I think Prosper wanted to say something.
Just to concur with Isaac and everyone here. Like, if you look at Arsenal, we don't usually get that bad boy and then we nurture that bad boy in our club. We never do that. You know, I would like Arteta to study Ancelotti a lot. Ancelotti has had the Gattusos. He's kept them in check. He's had the big guys, the big icons, but when they're playing for Ancelotti, they play like a team. He tames them. You know, he has his way around the players, but if you see in the back room, they treat him as his friend, but they have respect for him, you know? And you wonder, how does he manage to keep these guys so tame? You know, these guys are guys you cannot control, but he kept them in check. Ferguson has had his way, which wasn't good most of the time. Sometimes players would leave him, but not the Ferguson way, you know. But the Ancelotti way, sometimes to study somebody who handles bad boys is better because you get to learn. You're not gonna have a team full of creams, but you have to look at the talent that player brings to the team and that player would bring to the team. If you cannot find it anywhere, learn to manage that player within his confines, you know, and let him give something to the team that nobody else gives. Because this whole business of, oh, he disagrees with me or something, go away, doesn't help us.
I have been told that.
Autograph, please. Autograph. Can I get a picture?
When I use
Everybody hide your walkers, Chris.
Don't-
Hide your walkers.
Hide your walkers.
Exactly.
Oh, that's one of my blessings. If only I could play like him. I tried. Love it. Love it.
Oh dear. There was one question I wanted to get everyone's opinion on before we wrap up this last Easy Talk, and that is about our right back. For the panel, who would you bring in as a Partey's replacement? Seema.
Oh my God. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I cannot wait to see what Timber's going to do next season. So I'm so excited for that. I didn't even realize that Partey was going until now. So, because I haven't been on my phone all day. And, but I don't know, because I think Duran will just fit in with, with Odegaard and Rice, and, he'll play it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's for you. Replacement for. I mean, maybe you could play right back.
I'll be honest with you. I don't.
No, it's starting. I think maybe.
I beg your pardon. Sorry. Say what? What was that?
Maybe you can play right back. Can you play right back?
Oh, I could dust my boots off. I'll give it a go.
All right. Okay. All right.
No. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know at the moment. How many people? I have got just side runner this one for a second. How many people on this panel want Isaac to come to Arsenal? Because I tell you not. I'll tell you now.
Isaac at Newcastle, I would be one of them.
Well, let me cut that dead right now, right? Because in Newcastle today, the asking price for Isaac is 200 million.
What the hell?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
I'm not exaggerating either. They want 200
We
million.
can get Mbappe for that, and we'll take the ego.
I thought you were talking about Isaac.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that Isaac.
Right, Isaac and Newcastle. I should have been more specific. I apologize. Isaac, if you're worth 200 million, I'll be 10%. I'm your agent.
You know what,
I'll be 5%. I'll do it for 5%. I'll be
You know what, Dave? Just before the show started,
we need the voice of reason at Arsenal. We need him on the pitch.
Let's restart. Okay, I meant Isaac. Sorry, Isaac. I meant Isaac from Newcastle. Right?
Yeah, of course.
You know what, Dave?
They want 200 million for him. And we've got another problem as well. This other lad that we're looking at, Benjamin Sesko, right?
Yeah.
We have got until the end of June to buy him, as in buy out the clause in the contract. The only problem I see there is we'll ask, if we really, really want him, we'll ask and work quick enough to get him. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, who do we want at right back?
But Des, wouldn't you rather see players leaving first before we're looking to buy players?
Well, no. All right. If I can expand on it just quickly, Sesko is a centre forward. We need a centre forward. Put in the offer. Get him. Get it done. Get it done. Get it dusted. Then move people out. In this situation, move people out. Then, okay. I do agree with you. Normally, get them all out first and then bring them in. But the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because we're so slow to do business as a club in the transfer window. Get it done now. If you've only got a month, come up with something, get it done, and then if you have to get rid of somebody, do it.
Already going.
The team can gel. Bringing them in the closing day is just ridiculous.
Exactly, Seema. Yes, I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
And you are sure two are going. Two are already
connected
going.
are you, Seema? How well are you connected, Seema, to Stan Kroenke? You have a hotline to him or no?
Can't dwell that out on you, know.
Have you been out on a date with Seema? Have you been out on a date with him or something?
What?
I think he comes with his wife to the games.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Stop it. Give me Henry any day.
Seema, I'm only joking.
I know. Give me Henry any day. I'll do it.
Well, he's above. He's
we need a fan corner. We need a fan corner of the club.
He's there.
I was so
Seema, come
annoyed,
on.
because normally I would know who was sitting in the media room, and he was there when they played Chelsea, and I didn't even know he was in the media room. I would have stood outside the men's toilets for that.
He would have nicked your crisps.
What?
He would have nicked your crisps.
I know. A prawn cocktail.
Oh, to have Terry Henry on the Easy Talk. What the best way to finish? Yeah, having Terry Henry on the Easy Talk.
Oh, yeah.
No, of course.
You know what? We have actually come to a glorious end on the last Easy Talk on Cannon Fodder TV, and it's been a blast. 6 and a bit years. Like I said, it was all different when we first started. Well, when I first started, looking like a timid young boy, shaven head, looking. Yeah. Anyway. Vincey.
Sorry, who wrote that part of the script? Who wrote it? We need
Young boy.
better writers.
Sorry. Actually, Des, I've been pulling my hair over this. What am I going to say?
Yeah.
No, seriously. Over the years, it's been wonderful to have a lot of different faces on the Easy Talk and doing 2-hour segments and 30 minutes and an hour. Thank you, Vincey. Say hello to Martinelli next time you see him. Make sure you get a commission.
Of course, man. Of course, we can do some ball work because I think we kind of dropped off this season. So hopefully we can come back a little bit stronger next year.
Yeah.
But I thought you played quite well on that right-hand side last game of the season.
I mean, he did okay, but I just think he just needs a bit more confidence in taking on players and just being a little bit more decisive. You can learn a trick from Trossard. Trossard came on and showed him ways in how he can function. But I think the biggest problem for Martinelli, he's just too quick for some of the players around him, and they just can't keep up.
Yeah, that's a good point. But anyway, Vincey, thank you for coming for the last 2 shows on Cannon Fodder TV. Really, really appreciate quality comments and opinions there. Prosper, looking like an Avenger. Then thank you. We're going to keep in communication, Prosper. Thank you so much. Hawkeye.
This is the last Cannon Fodder Easy Talk. I would love to see one of these everydays like Seema to open up a channel so the tradition can go on. We need a decent Arsenal channel like this has been, because we can't have people kissing and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, you can subscribe to Guna Matters. He does some good content, and you see Seema on Guna Matters as well as Des and everybody else there. So
thank you for
that. The voice of reason, Isaac. I need to make it over there to Kenya, man.
You have to. He's a nice player. Ask Seema.
I will.
He's the only one that can sit in a game in a bar with an Arsenal shirt on when Liverpool are playing City.
We were saying that last week. We said the same thing.
I had the picture to prove it. And we were high-fiving each other. And we're sitting around with Liverpool and City.
Oh my goodness. But Isaac, literally you came onto the channel when we were going through COVID, and we were doing like live shows maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Live shows 2 and 3 times a day, just to keep everyone entertained. But Isaac, it has been a real pleasure sharing this space on the platform with you, brother. A real pleasure for me.
Pleasure is mine, brother. I told you, as I told you last time, I wish I had the resources to continue with the channel. But sometimes we've got to let go, because sometimes holding on too much hurts you. We've got to let go and grow. But the good thing is we've got a family now, and I believe we've made friends. The WhatsApp channel is still going to remain open. We are still going to communicate. And perhaps someday when there might be a need, and we'll say, can we redo it? And who knows? Who knows?
Who knows what the future might bring? But it's the hope, isn't it, Isaac? The hope that kills. Anyway.
Oh, it feels like Sunday all over again.
sorry. There's again, thank you for giving us your time over the last 3 years. 3 years you've been part of the Cannon Fodder TV family. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for that.
I think I started in COVID as well. That's when I really got involved with this. And all I can say is it's been an absolute privilege and an honour to be part of this family, to be on here with these guys and other guys like the Godfather, Mobe, Don, whoever I've been on with. I've enjoyed every single minute of it, and that's thanks to you, Alex. You have to take the credit. You've created a monster, but this monster has turned into a beautiful, beautiful thing, And all I can say is, whatever the future holds, whether Glenwyn takes it up or whoever takes it up, I'm always here if I'm needed. And Alex, if you ever want to come back, because people do come out of retirement, look at what Henri did,
Yeah.
So all I can say, mate, to you and your family, thank you for everything. And I wish you all, whatever your future endeavours are, and goes to you guys as well, whatever your future endeavours are, I wish you all the best with everything, and I will stay in touch with all of you in some way, shape or form. All right. Absolutely. And all I can say is, Alex, thank you very, very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Des. Thank you. Vinci, you'll say something quickly.
Yeah, I just want to say, sometimes we don't really understand the sacrifice that these guys actually put in to actually host these channels. And for the years that you've been doing it, Alex, you've blessed a fan base. I'm part of Arsenal 1-on-1. And they have a Facebook and YouTube channel, and the dedication that these guys put in week out to put on these shows, it's not easy. It takes a toll on families, but big respect, big respect to you, Alex, because as I said, you've allowed me the opportunity to come on several times and to be part of this, and it's been a beautiful blessing to be here with you, to learn from the panelists. That's one thing that I love being part of this, is we don't always agree, but you can always learn and understand a different view of being an Arsenal fan, and you've championed that, and I love it. So big up, respect. I've got to say what Enforcer said was just spot on. Credit goes to you, and you should be proud of what you've created. Maximum respect.
Just one more quick thing, Alex.
Yeah.
Right. Also to your brother Ralph as well, because he's a big part of this as well. But also, can I just say very, very, very big thank you to Mrs. Fodder and Mama Fodder, because they let you do this. So Mrs. Fodder
on the channel. She has to come and say. She has to come.
Mrs. Fodder, Mama Fodder, we love you both, and we always will. Thank you very much.
She's just to the right of me.
Nice, man. Nice. Well deserved.
Well, thank you for inviting me on this channel. I've made such a great family. I mean, like from London to Nairobi, who would think that, my family would be extended so much with all these lovely Arsenal fans. So thank you so much. I'm really honored, and you really helped in my confidence as well. But thank you so much for Alex for shouting out to me and saying, hey, you want to get on this channel or what? So yeah, thank you.
We love you, Alex, mate. We love you.
Yeah. We love you.
All right, guys. Well, so that's it. It's just a little bit welling up a little bit. Thank you very much, and Mrs.
Still going to get you that X-Men statue at some point, Alex, for your garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone is welcome to Malawi.
And if you
Everyone
missed us,
to
just give us a
Malawi.
call back, shout back, and we'll be on.
Yeah.
Next week.
They're just a call away.
The first game of the season, he's going to be saying, guys, I'm back home.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for your kind words. And I'll tell you what, it's down to my wife putting up with me, rushing in from work. And the first thing I'm thinking about is Cannon Fodder TV. Monday show, Wednesday show, easy talk. Of the last 6 years, that's how it's been. But like I said, everything that has a beginning has to have an end. And for me, we've come to a graceful end. Guys, thank you so very much. If you're watching now, thank you for following us over the last 6 and a bit years and listening to me going on about Arsenal, having a little bit of a rant. And yeah, and actually, remember we were filming outside the Emirates a few years ago as well. So it's been all down to my wife. Thank you so very much for that. She's crying. Anyway, thank you so very much. And the next time you see me, the last time you see me on Cannon Fodder will be next Monday. I'll be on with LTL, the original Godfather, and James Rowe, just talking about European football. And again, just talking about Arsenal. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say apart from thank you very much. And just remember, guys, we built up a family. Family is just not one person, it's a group of people. That's the family there. And this over here, Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans. All over this world.